Hey guys, so I wanted to make a review video today because I recently went to go see Singing in the Rain on the big screen. Now, Singing in the Rain is often considered one of the best musicals of all time, and after going to see it on the big screen, I can understand why. I'm a huge fan of musicals. I love musicals. I love Gene Kelly. This is one of Gene Kelly's best films. I would say An American in Paris is really a good film of his as well. I also really love It's Brigadoon. It kind of is poorly made, but that's the movie that helped me really discover Gene Kelly. Even though I saw Singing in the Rain first, I really was at an age where I was like, whoa, look at that dancing. It was great. And I grew up watching Singing in the Rain. I was raised in a very strict family, so that's why I didn't really go to see movies, and why I felt like I had to go see this one, because this is the thing I would have loved when I was in high school, because I was following all of Gene Kelly's career. I was following all kinds of dancers at that time, and it was just something I had to do. Even though I feel like I was poor at the moment, I was like, I have to do it. So that's kind of the reasoning why I went, because it's just so magnificent. The theater, Cinemark was great, Fathom Events. I really am looking forward to more events from them, because I really enjoyed it. And I guess I'll have to talk about why it's so great on a big screen. It makes me actually want to work my butt off so someday that I can afford a big screen like that, where I can watch Singing in the Rain like that again. Because I was able to see details like just the way the dancers looked and facial expressions just on the big screen. I know that I've watched it on a big TV before, but it just doesn't do it justice to see the larger than life looming of Gene Kelly say, "Oh no, what can I do to you if I'm only a shadow?" and him looming over Debbie Reynolds. I also love seeing the Cyd Charisse number, where I saw many people when they were going out of the theater, they were like, that didn't make any sense. That number didn't make any sense. But it makes sense if you think about Gene Kelly as a storyteller, and saying, I saw an article that was calling that number, she was a vamps, which means she was a sexual vampire. So she was basically using her sexuality to seduce Gene Kelly in this number to be, because it's all about money. At first he's going in because he loves dancing, he loves it, and then it becomes money. And then by the end, he realizes that money isn't the answer, and he flips the coin and gives it to the waitress, and he's done with that aspect. But it also makes sense when you think that the movie was created to incorporate the songs. The songs were there first, and the script writers, amazing script writers, by the way, for having to be given the songs and be like, you have to use all these songs, now write a script. And they were like, oh, okay. And Broadway Melody, which is the number that really doesn't make as much sense in the movie, they make it fit, but I understand why people are confused, because it is a little bit of a stretch, because it's a dream sequence, and and it's basically, the whole number is kind of like a joke. But the choreography is no joke. The choreography is on point by Gene Kelly. He choreographed this pretty much the entire movie. even Donald O'Connor's dance, because Donald O'Connor would come in each day and he would do a different dance because Donald O'Connor never repeated the same material twice. He used all of his expertise in that, and it shows. But he checked himself into the hospital after that because he was a huge smoker and his lungs gave out. Now, Gene Kelly did his dance, and it's been reported to either 103 or 105 degree fever because the suit that he was wearing kept shrinking, and so they had to keep doing the number again. So by the end of the day, he had a huge fever. Singing in the Rain never won any Academy Awards, but just looking at the actors, I'm just like, oh, they're so in shape. It puts me to shame and I know that has nothing to do with the Academy Awards, but they were so good. They were all very good actors and actresses, and it was just cleverly written about when Lenny Hayton spoke, who plays Lena, who has the girl with the awful voice. And then there's just interesting facts throughout. Like, the reason I have Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers behind me is because Fred Astaire actually taught Debbie Reynolds an important lesson. Debbie Reynolds' feet were bleeding on set, and she was like so frustrated with Gene Kelly. She was like, I'm never going to learn this. I'm never going to be a good dancer. It's so hard. And so Fred Astaire caught her kind of crying, and he was like, come with me. And so Debbie Reynolds watched Fred Astaire as he was doing a routine for a movie, and by the end of the shoot, he was dripping with sweat, and when the camera stopped rolling, he was panting. He was, he was an old man, really. And so he doesn't let it show on camera, but then by the end, he's heaving. He was pretty bald, and he hid it pretty well. They made sure to hide it pretty well. But yeah, so he turned to her and he said, it never gets any easier. And so she was like, and I sucked it up. They did dedicate the movie to Debbie Reynolds, which I felt was really good. I really wish she was still around, because it was just like a month later, less than a month later, and she could have made it, and I was so heartbroken at that. The movie's really good. I think what's funny is the whole movie is about dubbing, and they actually dubbed Debbie Reynolds' voice in a lot of it, some of the songs, and it's fairly obvious to tell where they dubbed it, but it's a great movie, and you should check it out, because I'm speechless, really, because I can't say just how much I enjoyed it. I was just in love with it, and I just noticed so many more things. It made me realize just how beautifully shot it was, especially for that time, and definitely go to see it, definitely. Bye!